Hello, how are you tonight? This is Jacqueline with Creative Paper Crafting with Jackie, and I am working on a paper nest doll tonight. And this is actually my first DT project for paper nest dolls. This is Love Letter Emma, and I just think she's so adorable. I think I say that every time I do a live, that I think the image is so adorable, but mostly we get to pick them out. And when we do, of course, we're going to pick out the one that we like the best. So anyway, again, this is Paper Nest Doll, and it's Love Letter Emma. And Paper Nest Dolls can be found. There's a Paper Nest Dolls group, and there's an Inspiration Paper Nest Dolls group. So there's two Paper Nest Dolls groups. And then you can purchase the Digi image at my shop. And I put the website, or you can buy it at Paper Nest Dolls. So if you're interested in the image, there's lots of cute images. I have several of the stamps. I think I probably have about maybe 10 of the stamps, and then I have quite a few of the Digi images. And this one is a Digi image, and I printed it at 3.5 inches. Sorry. Little tongue-tied tonight. I don't mean to be. Let's get started. I'm going to do her face first. Like I said, I do think she's just adorable. I am using E11, and I'm going to use Copics tonight. Sometimes I use my Spectrum Noirs, and sometimes I use Copics. And tonight, I am going to use my Copics. So I'm just using my E11, and I'm going to go a little heavier on the side of her face. And this is Sweet Sentiment paper, which is my very favorite paper. So I'm just going to go on the side of her face, and right here, and also under her chin a bit, and over the bridge of her nose. I'm just going to kind of come down. I hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. I am. I'm down in the basement. That's where my little craft nook is, and I put the little heater on, and now I am burning up. But oh well. So this is E000. I'm just going to pull the color out a little bit, and I'm not going all the way to the edge where I have the darker line, because I don't want the shading to completely go away, but I don't want such a harsh color. Once we add the hair, then she will come together a little bit better. But I wanted some dimension in the cheeks, so I did bring out the dark a little further. And I'm not going to do the center of her face yet. I'm going to wait. Like I said, this is one of my favorite papers. So this was E000, and now I'm going to do the quadruple zero, because I just want to pull this out just a little bit more. A little heavier handed than I wanted to be. So I'm just pulling it out just a little bit more. But I'm still keeping that edge. And it will come together when we do our hair. So there we go. 13 people are on. Wow. If you say hi, Jackie, how are you? If you say hi, then I know you're on, and if you don't say hi, I don't know you're on because of the comments. I'm trying to see who else is on. Says Sandra's on, Dawn's on, Victoria. Oh, hi Sharon, how are you? And Gail is on, I think. It says hi Gail, so I think Gail's on. Wow, quite a few people on. Well, I'll just keep coloring. I just wanted to see who was on, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. So this is the, oops, sorry, kind of throwing that around. The R20. I don't know why I'm putting the cap up. You can't see it. This is R20. So I'm just doing her cheeks, and I'm going to bring them up just a little bit around the sides. And like I said, once we do her hair, she really comes together once you do the hair. And then, you know, of course, your clothing, and just like us in the morning. We come together in the mornings, don't we? So it seems a little heavy-handed, and this is also, the paper makes it because this is Sweet Sentiment paper, and it has a bit of a off-white color to it, and it has a shimmer, so it takes color so well, but it can make the color look more intense. So if you use any other kind of paper and then you use this paper, you'll notice a difference in your coloring. You'll notice that your images take on, just look deeper. The colors look more rich when you use Sweet Sentiment paper. And that's the idea behind Sweet Sentiment paper. So there we go. And see, she's kind of coming together, but I still, when we do her hair, then she comes together a little bit better. And I have a little bit of a harsh line. I don't really like harsh lines. So I'm trying to pull that out. There we go. And like I said, we'll do her hair, and then she'll kind of come together. I am going to go ahead and do her, a little bit of her hands, and we'll go back in and put a little bit more color on her hands. But I'm just going to do this while I have my marker out. There we go. And if you're wondering why I have a piece of paper on here, it's just so that I can protect the image for a little bit before I take it off, so it doesn't get stolen. Alright, so I'm going to do her hair, and I'm going to do it a little differently tonight than normally I do brunette hair. And so tonight I'm going to do a reddish hair. And I don't know why, I just decided to do it. So I'm going to use Y38, Y35, and Y14. And I'm going to start with my lighter color. And I'm taking both ends off. You know, these are pressurized. And sometimes markers will have a big glob of ink, and that will help kind of cut down on that. I'm not going to say it 100% stops it, because I still have had big blobs of ink, even when I've taken off both ends. But this is not a marker that I have recently refilled either, so hopefully it's okay. So I'm just laying down the color. This is my lighter color. Then I'm going to go in with my medium, which is my Y35. Now usually I do brunette, but I thought you guys are probably getting tired of me always doing the hair the same. So I decided to be a little bit more bold and do a different color hair tonight. So it's kind of like my mother's hair when her hair was not gray. I can't say much because I'm probably pretty gray too. But my aunt, they're all redheads. And so I'm actually going to go back in again with the darker color and not go quite as far. And I'm sorry if my hands are in the way. I'm just taking small strokes. And this is maybe a little simpler card, because I really wanted to focus on her, because I think she's just so cute. Alright. And I was trying to think of sentiments, and I did not make this sentiment that I'm thinking in my head, but I was thinking, you got mail, you've got mail. No, that's too corny. So I did not do that. So no worries, I did not do that corny sentiment. But I was kind of thinking about it. Because, oh gosh, there's a movie, Tom Hanks movie, You Got Mail. And I loved that movie. Alright, so now I'm just looking for, R27, and I'm just going to go in with short strokes, just to kind of, like, thin, just to give it a little bit more dimension, give her a little bit more dimension. And Emma is actually, the paper nest dolls are actually Christina Young's. She draws them, she creates them. They're her children. So Emma probably is blonde-haired, because I know Christine's blonde-haired, but I'm making her red. And it's your stamp, so you can make her however you want to do her hair. You can do it. So there we go. And I'm going to add a little bit more there. And then I'm going to go back in with the light again. And you should go over your images 2 or 3 times so that you get layers layers of color, gives it more depth. And then in the back here, I'm going over it a little bit more. You want it darker underneath where her collar's at. There we go. So there we go. So she's a pretty red-haired today. Okay, so now I am going to actually take my marker again, and I'm going to go here on her feet and just kind of give her some little bit of shading where a little bit darker her pants, and here at the back of her hands. And like I said, she's a 3.5 inch. That's how I printed her. And the nice thing about Digis is you can make them any size you want. I accidentally printed her. I'll show you. I accidentally printed her quite big the first time. I don't even know how many inches tall she is. So you can print these in, hi Heidi, how are you? You can print these dolls as big as you want or as small as you want. So if you wanted to do it like a coloring page, you could print her bigger. It's kind of up to you. Or, you know, if you have vision problems or finger dexterity issues or anything, you could make her bigger so that you would feel more comfortable coloring her. So that is what is nice about Digis. And how I did it tonight is I took my die out, and I wanted to make sure she fit inside my oval die. So that's how I decided what size I wanted to print her. And really, that is the nice thing about Digis. And I was able to print 4 of her on one sheet. So now I can make several Valentine cards. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do her dress. And so for her dress, I am using RV. So I'm using RV 14, 13, and 11. And so what I'm going to do, and these, one of these, I'm not sure which one it is, does tend to have a big blob. Oh, thank you, Angela. She is a super cute image. Great for a calendar, Jacqueline. My hairdresser has a doll hairdresser calendar I made her years ago. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yes, you print, Diana Dean prints them 5 by 7. Yes. Yeah, so you see, you can print them, you know, whatever size you want. That makes you, you know, that you feel most comfortable with. I'll be honest, I used to print them bigger, much bigger, and then as I felt more comfortable with my coloring, I started printing smaller. So just however you feel kind of the most comfortable with. Okay, so this is my R13 right here. And I am going to take my R14 and I'm going right beside that line, which was my R13. I'm just going to go right beside it, kind of right beside it over here, and over here. And then I'm going to just put it on the edge over here. There is a method to my madness here. So then I'm going to take my R13 again, and I'm going to go on the other side of my darker line. And, so and it looks a little messy. That's okay. Till we get done. Go on the other side of my darker line. See, like so. And on the other side of my darker line. Then again on this other side and over here on my other side. Then I'm going to go back with my R14. And I'm going to go back in the middle. And I'm just doing strokes. Kind of like brush strokes. I'm not doing straight lines. It looks kind of like straight lines, but I'm really just doing brush strokes. And then I'm going to go back to my R13. I'm going to go on both sides. I'm just going to go on both sides. Sorry, kind of quiet when I'm thinking. Sorry. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. Either I'll answer them or one of maybe Dawn, Gail, Jackie Looper, Sharon, lots of people on that might be able to answer a question, because we all work with digis and we all do lives. And I got that a little bit on the envelope. It's kind of hard sometimes to color live. So I'm just kind of bringing this up. I'm going to come down again. Try to bring out the color just a little bit. And just a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, I'm going to let it dry just a little bit, and then I'm going to go over it again with my RV11. I'm sorry, not R11, RV11. I'm just going to do the rest of her dress, and then I'm going to come back down and work on those pleats a little bit, but I want my paper to dry just a little bit. I've oversaturated it just a little bit. So I'm just coming in here. Sorry if I'm covering up the image too much. Okay, so then I'm going to come back down. I'm going to pick up my my R14 and do over here. And I am going to work on those pleats a little bit more. Kind of, well, not really pleats, but just natural folds in her dress. So I'm coming, I'll put this here, RV14. It's going to come down her arm, around her arm a little bit, over here by her hair, and back here. See, back here by her hair, and over here. My husband's doing dishes. I'm sorry if you can hear it. Pipe's right above my head. And then over here. But I'm thankful he's doing dishes. Okay, so I'm going to come down here a little bit. Then we're going to go back up a little bit. So then I'm going to take my lighter color, and I'm just kind of working this back and forth a little bit. So just kind of working it back and forth. I'm going to turn her for a minute. Kind of back and forth to kind of get to that color. Work her back and forth a little bit. Kind of shimmying. Is that a word? Shimmying. So that I can get in here to the color. I hope you can't hear everything that I'm hearing upstairs. Alright, so see, I'm shimmering it a little bit. Then I'm going to pull again a little bit more. There we go. There we go. Okay. So there we go. So I'm going to take my R13. I'm just going to kind of pull this color out a little bit. There we go. And pull it out a little bit over here. Pull it up. Go in here a little bit. Oh, I hope you don't hear. Can you hear what I'm hearing upstairs? I'm going to have a little talk with people upstairs. Sorry. Some of the things they say are not using little kid words, and it's not maybe appropriate for my life. Okay, and then pull this out, back and forth, just a little bit. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. There we go. So I was trying to give her some folds in her dress. So that's my idea. Now as it dries, I might go back in there just a little bit, because I feel like this line right here is just a little bit heavy. You know what I might do? I'm going to marry my markers together right here. I'm going to take my R13 and my R11, and I'm just going to go in here just a little bit, because I just feel like this one line is just a little heavy. And I'm going to just try to pull that out just a little bit. And then a little bit more. Now you can go over your images as many times as you want to get the effect you want. Sometimes you have to let it dry just a little bit. This image has gotten pretty wet, so I might wait till she dries and then go over it just a little bit more. There we go. I'm a little bit happier with that. And sometimes as the ink soaks into the paper a little bit, dries into the paper a little bit, I think that you want to come back and maybe add a little bit more color to it. All right, so this was my R. I'm notorious for putting the wrong lids on my markers. So here we go. All right, so let me make sure we're in frame. I know when I move things around, kind of get out of frame. I am going to do her little petticoat, and on this, I wanted it to be light. So I used RV02, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of lightly go over it just a little bit. I remember when, as an adult, these kind of dresses were popular where you had the little slip that kind of showed underneath, because I wore one to work one time and my boss thought it was really a slip and wanted me to go home and change. But all the dresses had this really cute little white kind of petticoat looking. I don't know, maybe I'm showing my age and you guys didn't do that, but it was very popular when I was a young adult. Okay, there we go. And this is RV02. And I am using a lot of pinks on her tonight. I realize that. Well, it's kind of the look I was going for. So now I am going to use, I'm trying to get my markers out here. I am going to use my, let's see, I had a lighter color I had in mind. Oh, my RV10. My RV10 and, let's see, which one was I going to use? Okay, RV13. No, RV11. RV11 and RV10. So I'm not doing every single stripe. I'm just going to do right here, like this one. Just doing the edges. And right here. Sorry, I get a little quiet when I'm thinking. And right here. And I see I missed right here. There we go. There we go. And then I'm going to take, I'll look into it a bit more after Dawn. Okay, I didn't quite catch it. So I'm just doing this, pulling it out. I'm going to go over this twice. Pulling it out a little bit. And this is a smaller space, so I'm just using 2 colors. But I am going to pull it out like that. And then I'm going to go back and do it again. I don't know if you saw Dawn's live last night. She had 2 raccoons and they were just adorable. Truly adorable. Had a nice shine to them and just adorable. I just loved them. And so Dawn does lives 3 times a week. She does Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And there's kind of a group of us that do lives. Gail Sue, Stamping with Gail Sue. Dawn is Dawn G Designs. And then there's Sharon with the Noble Crafters. So there's several of us that do lives if you want something to do. Okay, so now I'm going to take my RV10. I did 2 layers of my RV11 and my RV10. So I'm going to take my RV10 and I'm just going to lightly, right here, just lightly go across the middle, just lightly, because I didn't really want to do it twice, so that gave it kind of a nice little shine. And then I'm going to take my R41, which is pearl white, and I'm just going to do, I wanted to do her this middle part, so I'm just doing that, but I'm going to leave, just doing the edges. So I'm just kind of doing the edges and leave the middle, so that way she has the appearance of more of a white stripe there. So leave her like that. Okay, so now I'm going to do her shoes. I do think she's, like I said, she's just so adorable. So I am going to use, let me pull out my markers again. And I thought I would kind of keep it in the same color scheme. So I'm going to use my RV 14, 11, and my 13 again. So I'm just going to use a dab of my R14 back here. Just like this. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, I'm glad to talk. Usually I talk about my students and all sorts of stuff. And I read a blog yesterday that somebody wrote that said, when I watch a live, I don't want to hear about your grandchildren, your children, and your life. I just want to learn something. And I thought, well, maybe I talk too much personal stuff. So now I'm not quite as chatty as I normally am. And I don't know. I watch lives and I follow certain people, and I kind of am interested in their lives and stuff. And I don't think people talk too much about their personal stuff. But I don't know. It kind of made me self-conscious. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you enjoy kind of hearing about people's lives? Or do you really not want to hear that type of stuff? Because I know I tell a lot of silly stories about my students and the silly things they do in class and stuff. And maybe you don't want to hear that. And I teach adults. I don't teach children. I wouldn't tell you all the stuff about children. But I don't know. It just kind of made me self-conscious. So you enjoy, yeah, see, Sandra, I enjoy our conversations because a lot of people know, the people that follow me know a little bit more about my life, you know, maybe then, I don't know. They know quite a bit about my life, and I don't mind sharing it. So I enjoy, myself, I enjoy hearing about people's lives. That's what I thought. In my lives, what did you say? In my lives, anything goes. I love hearing what everyone's up to. See, that's how I feel. I really want to know what's going on with people, and I become friends with the people that are in our group. You know, Sandra, she's like always a big supporter of mine, and I love it. You know, she always gives me makes me feel good, and you know, I just love hearing from everybody, and I like all the people, and so I'm glad you don't mind me sharing my life, because I am a chatter. You know, I teach, and I have to kind of make sure that I don't talk too much in class, because sometimes I disturb my students because I can't seem to be quiet. But we did get a new program. I had put in a request, and it was granted to get new equipment for my classroom, and so we had an installation of a really neat software package. So my students who are learning English I can talk to them over a microphone as they're doing their schoolwork, and I can kind of help correct them if they need it, and encourage them when they need it. That was R27 and R46 for the heart. So I was shading with the R46 and then using the R27. Yeah, so I'm all excited about this new software. I've got to learn how to use it. I've kind of set things up today. So I just, you know, exciting. E41. Really, I wish you could have seen my classroom, because it had been a journalism lab, and the gentleman that had it for, I don't know, like 30 years, and it was just bags and bags and bags and bags of junk and trash. And he left, and they gave me that space, and I spent an entire summer hauling that out. And it was a mess. And now my classroom truly is beautiful. And every year I try to get something. You have to make a request, and you have to do a justification and kind of beg almost. But every year I've tried to make big improvements. So a couple of years ago I got beautiful furniture. And this year I got this wonderful software. So it's just coming along. So I am using E41, and what I'm doing is, because this is a letter, an envelope, I'm going over certain areas several times. So I'm not using a lot of colors on it, but I'm making it more intense by going over it several times. So see, it gives it some natural shading by doing that. So that was what I was trying to do. And by only going over this like in the middle like one time, it gives it kind of a natural sheen right there. All right, so now we are going to do her bow, and for her bow, I was going to go a little bit bolder, and I am going to use my RV21 and actually an RV04 for her bow. And so these colors are in the kind of the same color family, but they're not matchy-match. I'm not too matchy-match myself. So I'm going to pull it out, and then we're going to go over this a couple of times. And I just kind of think to myself, if I buy a bow or I buy an accessory, it's not going to match my outfit perfectly unless you bought it together. It's not going to match perfectly. Your colors are going to be similar, but not perfect. So that's what I try to do. I try to think of that when I am coloring. And so I'm taking my RV04 with my RV21, and I'm just kind of mirroring it together so I can create a third color. Because I have these two colors separately, and then I'm creating a third color by marrying them together. And I do that often. I'm building my Copic collection, and this is a way to make a third color without not having all your markers. So you can kind of play with them and do that. Some people actually, they'll use the inside of their lid. See, there's a little bit of ink inside. Some people will just use the inside of their lid when they're trying to do this. But I like to just kind of marry them together, and it works for me. So that's how I do it. But you have to find what works for you, and then just do it. So, like I said, I'm notorious for putting the wrong lids on. Oh, there we go, that one's right. So I'm just trying to double check myself. Okay, now let's do her inside of her ribbon. And I'm going to do it a slightly different color. I'm going to use my R11 and my R10. So I'm just going to try to do every other one. It's a small space, so I'm trying. And let's see, there's one there, so right in here. This side's a little more tricky. There we go. Then I'm going to take this one, kind of go in here. There we go. Okay, and so now we're going to do her headband. So I'm using my R13, 14, and 11. She has a little bit of a headband right here, so I'm just trying to do the edge. And then I come in with this one. I'm a little heavy-handed, so I'm trying to be careful here. Here we go. Well, I am so glad you guys don't mind hearing conversation. Next time I read a blog like that, I guess I'll just quit reading, because it really kind of made me self-conscious. I thought, oh my gosh, I talk all the time during my lives. I'm probably boring the heck out of my people. And I don't want to do that, because I appreciate all you guys. There we go. And now I'm going to, we don't want her just floating in the air. So I'm going to take my warm grays, and I'm just going to kind of where her feet are, kind of go in here like this, where she's standing, a little bit darker, and then I'm going to go a little lighter. So that was my W0, and I'm using my W00, and the warm grays are my favorite. Normally I do my shoes warm gray. The people that follow me know I normally use a warm gray, and I normally do brunette hair, and I thought I'm going to mix it up tonight. This is my first DT project for Paper Nest Dolls, so I'm going to mix it up a little bit. It's actually my second live for Paper Nest Dolls. I have done a live before, but this is my first DT project. All right, now we're going to assemble her. And I think she looks okay with red hair. I like her. A little different for me, like I said. Just ignore it the next time. Yes, I'm going to ignore that. Diane says I haven't done a Facebook Live yet. You ought to do a Facebook Live. It's fun. I actually enjoy doing them. It gives me, like I said, we have people that kind of follow along with our lives, and please follow along with our lives. I do it really on, it was Wednesday and Fridays, but I'm going to be switching up my days, but I'm still doing one this Friday and this Sunday. So this is a 6x6 card that I'm using, and I thought, wow, this paper is like so perfect. When I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta use that paper. That is so perfect. And the colors in the paper were my inspiration for her. And I probably should have said that when I first started. Let me pull you out just a little bit, because I think I have you a little bit too close now. Oh, other way. There we go. A little bit too close before. There we go. So I just, I pick out my paper. This is how I do it. I pick out my paper and then I color my image based on the colors that I'm using on my paper normally. Sometimes I do it the other way around and I get a little lucky. It works out okay. But it's better to kind of pick your paper first. I'm just kind of doing their nose just a little bit more. Want a little bit more depth. I'm just trying to do it very lightly. A lot of times I go back in my images and do it just a little bit more. See, gave her just a little bit more depth. All right, so we're going to assemble. This is a 6x6 card. So I cut my paper 6x6 and I'm using my art glitter glue. And this was a Sizzix oval Sizzix. So that is what I used. And this is Echo Park paper. And I got really lucky. I had gone, I don't get to go to Tuesday morning very often because I do not live in a city. I live in a rural area. And I had gone for a doctor's appointment last week for my son. And I stopped by Tuesday morning and they had one pack of this paper. And I was like, oh, I gotta get this paper because I'm gonna be doing some lives. And then when I picked out Emma here, I thought, oh my gosh, that just matches. See, and that, the color I used with my marker really matches well. And that's what I was trying to do, was to make this and this match up. I think it worked out okay. So I did create a mat with my oval dies. So I'm going to put this together. And I love my art glitter glue. And so this card to me is just a little bit simpler card, but I wanted to really focus on her because I just think she's so adorable. And we're going to pop her up. So let me get my adhesive over here. And I have a hodgepodge of adhesive. I keep it in a little baggie right here by my desk. And this is just some that I picked up at Dollar Tree, which we're very lucky to have. Amazingly, I mean, because this is really a small town, we are getting a Hobby Lobby and a Texas Roadhouse. And there has been rumors, I do not know how true it is, of an Aldi's. And oh my gosh, if we got an Aldi's, that would be fantastic. We're a little tiny town, Vincennes, Indiana. We're the original capital in the first city of Indiana, and we're quite small. They moved the capital to Indianapolis. All right, I am not going to lay that down yet because I have another piece that I made a mat for, and I'm going to put that underneath. I don't want to ruin my image. So it says, I love you. You are just my type. Please be mine, and happy Valentine's Day. I just thought, how cute is that? So kind of letting the paper do the talking on this one. So I'm just using my art glitter glue, and I just made this little mat. And my mat is like 6 inches long and 2.5 inches wide, and that's the mat. And then the paper is about a 1/8 of an inch smaller. So there we go. I was just going to put that down like that. Just kind of think that it complements Emma. And this is Love Letter Emma again. And if you haven't liked the Paper Nest group, you ought to like it and then post the pictures of the things that the projects you complete. I go ahead and put just a dab of glue because I don't want it to dry out and come off. And I'm going to put her here like that. See, isn't she pretty? And then I have another, I have XOXO because that's how Hugs and Kisses. Hugs and Kisses, XOXO. This is kind of an English thing. Hugs and Kisses. I think it's becoming more popular now, but when I was growing up, my family, my grandmother used to always put Hugs and Kisses on all the letters she sent me, all her cards and stuff. A lot of times you see people put XXX, but XOX, Hugs and Kisses. And what's more appropriate than hugs and kisses for little Emma here? All right. And then I just did the same thing. I made a little red mat for this, just to make it pop a little bit. Kind of bring the colors together with the heart. So I'm going to put XOXO right here. And then, if I can find it, I have a little bow. Oh, here it is. Little bow. That I have a little sequins that I use. I made a shaker card the other day, and these are the same sequins I used the other day, but they're sticking to me like crazy. Now I'm using Fabric Fusion glue. The only thing is, it is a bit messy. It's stringy, but I use this instead of my hot glue gun, because I mean it works just the same way. It will make whatever you use stick. And actually, I saw some, it wasn't Priya, but I saw a live and somebody was using it when they put down their lace. And I put lace on my cards often, and I thought, ooh, that's a good idea. So I got some. So that's another good thing about lives, is that I better not put that on yet. You learn from each other things to do. And let's see. And I haven't been paying attention. I'm becoming like Gail. I'm not paying attention to my lives. I need to go to Tuesday morning and see what I'm missing. You know, our Tuesday morning in Evansville is small. And maybe you find one or two of something. You don't find a lot. I'm going to just put these hearts on here. You don't find a lot of the same thing. You can find one or two. That's actually how I have bought most of my Spectrum Noir markers, is from Tuesday morning. And I've just been really lucky and found quite a few. I don't have a full set, but I have found quite a few. And I usually go just maybe every 6 months, but right now my son has a every other week appointment in Evansville, so I've been able to stop by there a little bit more. And I usually buy paper. That's what I usually buy, because they have the cutest paper there. But sometimes you can find other things. I found some different, that's where I got my glass cutting mat, was Tuesday morning. There we go. Now I didn't know if I should add any more, you know, like a couple more on this side, or leave it as is. So I was going to ask you guys what you thought. Should I add a couple more or leave it as is? You know, when I never feel like my cards are done, and I keep wanting to add and add and add and add and add. I've been told to quit being afraid of having space show, but you know, I seem to want to layer and layer and layer. So what do you think? Should I add a couple more hearts over on this side, or leave it as is? I'm going to look and see. It's just perfect as is. I'm going to leave it. Sandra said perfect as is, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it. So here she is. And this is Love Letter Emma. And I just think she's adorable. I don't know why. I guess because it's my first live for Paper Nest Dolls. I felt a little, normally I don't feel nervous ever at all with my lives. But tonight I felt a little nervous. So I was a little bit tongue-tied at first. So I kind of apologize for that. But anyway. I think the red hair came out, and I'll try doing red hair a little bit more. And I was trying to do a little pop of this color to match her little petticoat, and that kind of matched these hearts. So I was trying to bring in all the pinks from the paper. So there we go. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Gail. Gail is super good. She does a stamp with Gail Sue, and Dawn is Dawn G Designs, and Sharon is the Noble Crafters. And then I am Creative Paper Crafting with Jackie. And if you haven't liked my page, please like my page. Please, please, please. I'm trying to get my numbers up. And I do have a YouTube channel and a blog where I post what I use, the colors I use, and I'll put these details out in case you want to make the same card. Because I think everybody ought to get her and make a card. And you know, try to work on your folds and stuff. That's something I'm practicing all the time. So that's why I wanted to use it on this dress. I didn't have to. I'm going to show you, here's a stamp I have, and see, she had beautiful folds. And so I thought, oh, I think I'll try my folds over here. So thank you so much for joining me. And oh, thank you, Jackie. You know what? You guys that watch the lives are wonderful. And I thank all of you for taking the time out to watch and for following. And I so enjoy making cards, and I hope you enjoy making cards too, because it's just fun. I will see you on, today is Wednesday. I'm going to have a live on Friday at 7 Eastern Standard Time, and then I'll have one on Sunday at 1 p.m. So I will see you guys later, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and take care. Good night. Oh, thank you, Fatima. Thank you, Christine. And thank you, Jackie. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Diana, too. Thank you, everybody. Good night.